for
Well,
sure.
I'm trying, that's what I'm scouting. I'm scouting the people where I can say, hey, look at this case, or look at this political event, or what do you think? And that, if you look
Hmm.
at my Mars Uranus square Pluto in the 10th, perfect. Because
Yeah,
also Pluto in the 10th is also the elites, the
yeah,
big corporation guys, the big, like somebody behind a large corporation or government that needs to be hidden. That's Pluto, you know?
right,
So,
right.
and 10th is somebody very powerful. So, I mean, that's where I'm seeing,
And
yeah,
also you achieving that, like you said, in a later time, you ascending to your 10th house and your career, reinventing your career.
yeah. And with the internet, I'm finding you guys are all over the place. Like you're back east and Ricky's in another state. And so if I have this, forum, you guys can clock in whenever you want to. Give me your 2 cents on a case, and it
Right.
goes out to the subscribers. But that's kind of where I'm trying to find that talent, where we can
Yes,
talk to each other about these cases, but also have that subscription base of people that want the information, but not directly.
I hear you.
Yeah,
So, I mean, if I could get into the technical aspects of it, maybe instead of the gory details, I
yeah.
would totally be open to that. As far as like an event, looking at it as an event and looking at what's happening. I'm saying for me, like, oh no, like I even like I said, if I watch gory things, but maybe by placing my intellect over my emotional person, I
Well,
can
that certainly
definitely do
sounds a
that.
lot like Saturn Neptune that you're describing, honestly. You
Well,
know?
yeah, because, well, Saturn, well, yeah, it's still in my seventh house and in
Mm-hmm.
Aries. And now it's in Aries, but I'm getting ready for my second Saturn return in
Oh God,
late,
your second one?
yeah, my in late it's 24 Aries, so it's not like right
I
away.
just
But
finished mine.
yeah,
What?
I felt she just finished yours.
Yeah.
I'm actually really not as afraid as like I said, I've tried to talk to Saturn. Listen, you don't have to beat me over
You
the
got to work
first
with Saturn. You
head.
do. You have to work
Okay,
with
I
it.
will listen to what it is you're trying to tell me, you bastard.
Yep.
And I've been, that's where the second one is. The first one you like, you don't really know. But all my life I have had responsibilities and delays because of my responsibilities to my child, to my mother and father, to everyone else, helping my husband raise his son, all of these
Hmm.
things. And now I am in a different place after
That
that.
sounds like me.
Yeah, that Saturn Neptune helped me.
How did it hit you, Ricky? If you just came through it, what
Yeah,
happened to you?
really. What happened?
Um, Mine was a lot of like relationship changes. I think I
Yeah.
Okay.
became a lot more of a secure person,
Mm,
setting more boundaries type
yes.
of thing.
That
Um,
makes sense.
Moving into my own apartment. My kids are all finally adults.
Right.
Mm.
It was a big change I went through.
Yeah. See, I have a son who's 36 and he's married. He's has an excellent relationship. I have a granddaughter who's 7, but I have a stepson who's going to be 23. So he still lives with us. So I'm still in that mode. However, I don't have to change his diapers,
No, no, no.
but
Yeah,
sometimes it feels that way.
Oh,
But
I
my
hear you.
youngest son is going to be 22 and he lives here as well, but he's
yeah,
very independent. So
yes, he works. He does
yeah,
his thing.
yeah, yeah.
See,
We
Ricky
have a
and I
Um,
lot
have
of
that
in
in
common
common. We
there.
both have the Scorpio ascendant, and
Yeah.
I've got my daughter who's 34 living with me. She's got,
mhm.
her son living with her. So, yeah,
Well, I
that,
have progressed Scorpio ascendant, so can't I be a
oh,
part of
well,
the
there you
club?
go.
There you go. You can be a part of our Scorpio club.
But see, now you
What
just
is
explained what I
Renata?
said about the clicking. If you've got a progressed Scorpio, that would draw you to us because
Exactly.
people
That's
would
why I'm
like
saying, John.
angles, and the angles may not show up in the progressions. You're right.
What's
So
Renata's
that's what
rising
drew you
sign?
in,
Well, also too, don't you think by me having Pluto also on the ascendant, with that taking over, I've read multiple articles on, and books about how planets in a house like that take over even more so than the sign itself.
You know
Uh,
what else we have in common?
yes.
You were talking about, well, and you kind of gave me a little insight, your T-square and whatever pointing to your
Yeah.
Saturn. Well, I have two yods, and one points apex is Saturn and the other apex is Venus.
Yes, that's
But
what
when you
I'm
said
saying.
that about Saturn, I was like, oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
it's just no. Well, I said that Saturn is the apex to my yod, to my. It's like
Oh, I didn't
within.
hear you say that. Yeah.
Yeah,
sounds like
I've.
you guys got a lot of relationship stuff in common then.
Yeah, we yes,
So
I'm
where
sure.
but your apex is in seventh house?
No, my apex is in the eighth house, and
Oh, okay. Yeah,
it's
mine's
in
in
the
the
eighth.
fifth house.
That's all. That'll be kicking off my, which I don't look at it in a negative way. I really
No.
don't. I look at it when it's kicking off my Neptune in the third and my Uranus in the first. Well, what am
Yeah,
I
my life
doing
is
right now?
better.
What am I doing right now? I'm getting more into the astro, getting more serious about technical astrological things and about balancing something out in my life where no, I can't be all accessible to everything. I have to now
Exactly.
really
That is,
truly
yep.
Yeah.
be about myself. I ran for friggin' local office recently because Saturn, I got those 10th house fucking planets. I got to do something. Plus my Mercury is on the midheaven, which rules my chart. So I'm like, these are all that sextiles that, and I'm Saturn sextiles that, but Saturn was
But it all
squaring
fits.
the
You're
shit
leaning more
out of
into
it.
astrology. You're communicating more about intuitive things. And also, you're putting more
I'm
of the
doing
career emphasis, communication on your career, certainly. You
right.
know, Mercury's
But I'm
going to
saying
bring you talking to more people.
Saturn and Neptune was squaring that for a
Hmm.
very long time, that 27 degrees of Mercury that I have.
Okay.
It was squaring it. So I was being challenged mentally, but
Hmm.
I wasn't confused. I was actually very driven to find out more. So I used the Saturn in a way to give me the discipline to really get into my reading again and that kind of thing and
If
not,
you hadn't, though, that would have put a
sitting
real
on my
strain on you.
mind and you know
But that's it. That's what I was about to say. If you had not done it that way, it would have put a strain on you the other way. So you
right.
did a positive expression of that energy.
Well, I
Oh,
believe it was
nice.
because of astrology. That I
Hmm.
was able to say, okay, like what's the outcome? I mean, really, in this situation, either I'm going to transform into something or else, or I'm going to really transform, you know, for
Yeah.
See,
the
you also hit
superior.
on why I don't like when people say there's a couple things that just irk me online. I see a lot of this when they talk about like bad transits. No, I don't think it's necessarily bad. Can be, but it's not
It's
going to be my
fucking
first
hard,
jump
but
to. There's a lot of things that if
sorry,
you
give me
express
first.
them in positive ways, it can be really, depending on how you express it. Okay. The other thing is a lot of this stuff that I see about compatibility drives me up the wall because honestly, compatibility has got nothing to do in my mind with real life relationships. I see
No,
people that love each other all the time. They're not together. I see people hate each other that are together. I mean, to me, it's are you with this person or not with this person? Screw this compatibility shit. Synastry, I don't understand the point. I mean, like, so what? I mean, I want to know real life stuff. Like, is this
well, I
person
tell,
hurting me? Are they helping
yeah,
me? Are they staying with me? Are they leaving? I mean, I want to know real world stuff about something, you know?
I agree with you on that. And when I have, because I have a lot, I try to keep myself abreast of, of the new and the exciting. I have a few millennial friends. They're like in their late 30s.
Hmm.
And they are constantly asking me, well, I met this guy and, I'm like, look, Do you feel a connection with them? Because come back to me. But I do look and I say, I would love to be able to tell you, yes, your Venus trines their Venus and you are, but the real true relationships come from your Saturn aspects together,
Mm-hmm.
your
That's right.
challenges, because
Yep.
you're not with that person unless you have something to work the hell out.
That's it.
You know?
Unless there's a Saturn connection, they're just
Yeah.
fluff. They're just
It's
fluff. They're just
fluff.
passing through, you know?
Exactly. I always say that. And that was one of the things that my first astrology teacher told me, because he's like, don't get into that shit. You know what I mean? Like, he was like, really like, no, you're not going to be one of them. I see that your Venus trines. No, you're going to get into because people are usually in crisis when they come to you.
That's right.
Yeah. And that really resonated with me, and I was happy that he told me that. But I think that I also had, I'm sure you both can understand this, you also had the capacity to get it,
Mm-hmm.
where, that takes a certain aspects for sure. Pluto's, like you were talking, strong Pluto,
Mm-hmm.
strong Saturns.
Mm-hmm.
Not in the sense of strong, but challenging Saturns. Because my Saturn is strong when it sextiles my Mercury, but it's that's probably about it. So, but
Well,
in
it
the end,
certainly is it is gonna draw more people to you wanting advice, certainly. You know?
I think so. But that's just, my husband calls me Lucy. He said, you're
Lucy?
Lucy. Yeah, from the Peanuts, step up
Oh,
to psychiatrist, like she's got a psychiatrist is open 5 cents. Because I could be sitting on a porch, just like people will just stop and start to tell me their life
what's your moon
story.
at? What's your moon
20,
at?
25 degrees of Capricorn.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah,
Yeah. You're
but
like the grandma.
it's in the fifth house.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
They look at you. It's interesting. They look at me and Ricky as mother, and they'll look at you and they're like grandma, which is a different
Yeah.
energy. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the
Yeah.
more
Well,
older, wiser type of figure to them.
yeah, I have to agree, because it's always been, I've actually had people get angry with me and say, like, cry if they were having a difficult time. You're supposed to know these things. And I'm like, I don't know everything. I really don't. Like, I just know maybe more than you do, in this
Yeah.
particular situation, but I don't know everything. And I kind of want to be able to I do want to be able to share that. That's why I took this position in the community, trying to get the community together, because I do want to share that aspect of myself, like you were talking about, even with,
Yeah.
if it happens to be with crime, where
Well, there's a
you're
way to do it positively.
where
Like one of the
where
things
you're
that you have to be
helping
careful
on
of.
a larger scale than just your immediate people.
See, one of the things I would advise you of, because I have the same problem too, is, or anyone that has this challenge. For
Mm-hmm.
example, let's say Neptune is coming around your ascendant or your first house or whatever. Now, that means that people are going to be getting that energy from you. Now, there's a positive and there's a negative expression of that energy. Now, I
Yeah.
talked to Ricky about, I'm working on like a costume, like a persona that I'm putting together. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I've got this Pluto, Neptune going as far as my image. Now,
Right.
that means I could be looked at as a complete Fruit Loop, you know, or I can make myself, Neptune's also costuming and image and a branding. Okay, so I've been looking at, okay, I'd rather have a branding and an image than be looked at like a Fruit Loop, right? So
Yes, that
there's
that
ways to get
that does
control of it.
happen.
Yeah,
Yes.
now Saturn, they can look at you as very cold. They're
Yes,
distant,
but I'm not.
like unhip, right? Or rigid. They can, I mean, look at all the Saturn negatives that they can look at you. However, if you convert that to the loving grandmother who bakes some cookies and that they
Right.
can come talk to you, that's a different Saturn energy you can feed into.